Formeji YouTube video k lia oper jo tum ny story lik kdhs k oper tai men strong hook lik k do. Hook jandar. Suspenseful our curiosity si barpor hona chaye k mary vauer engage ho jn our video ko ntk deck and the room smells of old paper and rain. Dim yellow light leaks through the cracked window. I sit alone at the wooden table. My fingers rest on a letter that was never finished. The ink has faded, but the words still feel warm. My heart beats slower than the ticking clock on the wall. Outside, the wind presses against the glass like it wants to listen. I remember the sound of your footsteps in this room. Soft, careful, afraid to be heard. The chair across from me remains empty. Yet the air feels heavy, as if someone is standing there. I inhale, and the scent of jasmine reaches me. The same scent you always carried. My chest tightens. The letter trembles between my fingers. Each line speaks of love that was never spoken aloud. Every word feels dangerous. The silence grows thicker. A floorboard creaks behind me. My skin turns cold. I do not turn around. I hear breathing that is not mine. Slow, uneven. The light flickers. Shadows stretch along the walls. My pulse races in my ears. The letter slips from my hand and falls to the floor. I feel a presence lean closer. So close that I feel warmth on my neck. A whisper brushes past my ear. It speaks my name in your voice. The room suddenly feels smaller. The door closes by itself. The clock stops ticking. I finally turn my head. And see the letter rise from the floor, opening itself. As new words begin to appear on the page, the ink moves slowly, as if it breathes. Each letter forms with careful intention. My name appears first. The sight makes my throat dry. The air grows colder around my shoulders. I feel the chair press into my back, heavier than before. The paper lifts higher, floating at eye level. The handwriting matches yours perfectly. Every curve, every pause. My hands shake, but I keep watching. The words speak of nights spent waiting. Of sentences swallowed before they reach the lips. Of love hidden behind ordinary smiles. My chest tightens with each line. The room begins to feel unfamiliar. The walls stretch farther away. The ceiling seems lower. I hear the rain stop outside. Silence replaces it, deep and unnatural. The scent of jasmine grows stronger. It wraps around me like a memory. I feel it fill my lungs. The letter turns another page by itself. New lines appear faster now. They speak of jealousy, of longing that turned sharp, of watching from the shadows. I sense movement behind me again. A reflection shifts in the dark window. I see two figures instead of one. My breath becomes shallow. The light flickers once more. The bulb hums like a warning. The words on the page grow darker. The ink thickens, almost wet. It drips slowly down the paper. I hear a faint sound beneath the hum. A heartbeat. It matches my own rhythm. The letter describes a moment I never shared. A night when I cried alone. A night when someone watched from the door. My stomach twists. I never told anyone about that night. The chair creaks beneath unseen weight. The air presses against my chest. I feel fingers brush my hair. Cold, gentle. My skin prickles. I want to speak, but my voice refuses to rise. The letter writes faster, almost frantic. The sentences blur together. They confess love that demanded possession. Love that refused to fade. Love that chose silence over distance. The room darkens, except for the glowing page. Its light paints moving shadows on the walls. I see shapes that resemble hands reaching outward. My heart pounds harder. The letter mentions the last time we met. The cafe. The quiet goodbye. The smile that hid too much. My breath catches. I remember that moment clearly now. Your eyes looked heavier than usual. The letter pauses. The ink stops moving. The room becomes painfully still. Then a single sentence forms. It asks why I never turned around. A chill runs through my spine. I feel a presence stand fully behind me. Close enough to touch. Close enough to feel warmth again. The air vibrates softly. The clock on the wall begins ticking once more. Each second echoes loudly. The letter resumes writing. It speaks of waiting ever since. Of remaining in this room. Of listening for my return. My vision blurs. Tears gather, but refuse to fall. The scent of jasmine becomes overwhelming. I feel arms slide around my shoulders. They feel familiar. Too familiar. My body stiffens. The letter reaches the bottom of the page. The final line forms slowly. It says that love never left. It says love learned to stay unseen. The paper begins to fold itself. The room tilts slightly. The walls seem to breathe inward. I hear your voice again. Not a whisper this time. Clear. Close to my ear. It asks me to read it aloud. My lips part despite my fear. The moment sound escapes my mouth. The light bursts brighter, and the room fills with movement. Shadows detach from the walls. They slide across the floor toward me. The letter grows warm in my hands. Almost burning. The air hums with energy. The door rattles violently. The window seals shut. I feel the arms tighten around me. Not painful, not gentle, possessive. The letter vibrates. Its pages flipping rapidly. Images flash before my eyes. Memories that were never mine. Moments of watching, waiting, loving in silence. My heart races faster. The scent of jasmine mixes with something metallic. The room feels smaller with each breath. The voice speaks again. It says love needs acknowledgement. It says love needs a response. The letter presses itself against my chest. I feel its words sink deeper. As if they search for a place inside me. The shadows rise higher. They stretch toward the ceiling. I feel my feet lift slightly from the floor. The clock stops again. Everything freezes except my breath. The letter opens one last time. A blank page faces me. The ink begins to move. Waiting for my words, I take a slow breath. The room holds still, as if listening. The blank page shines softly in front of me. My hands stop shaking. I feel the weight of every unsaid word. I speak gently. I speak honestly. I tell the page that love existed. I tell it that love was real. I tell it that silence was fear, not rejection. The ink flows again, calm and steady. The shadows soften. They loosen their reach. The scent of jasmine fades into something lighter. Warmth leaves my shoulders. The arms around me slowly release. The room begins to breathe normally. The clock resumes its quiet rhythm. The letter folds itself one final time. It drifts down to the table. The yellow light steadies. The walls return to their place. I stand up, feeling lighter than before.